Hello and welcome back to the channel. In this video, and as a part of the series where we're building a fully automated CRM from scratch, we're going to learn how to use Manychat, and more specifically, how to qualify leads on Instagram. And we're going to do this because at many occasions, some of the leads that we go into a discovery call with are not ready to purchase our services, and we end up losing our time. In this way, we're going to be able to filter those leads that are going to be more likely to end up hiring our services. And to qualify these leads, we're going to create a quiz where we assign points automatically depending on the answers that the leads give to us. I'm also going to share with you the questions that I asked my potential customers so you can implement them from today. So if this sounds good to you, just hit the subscribe button so you can stay tuned on the new videos of the series. And now, let's go into the video. So as you can see here, we're in the main dashboard of Manychat again. So if you don't have an account yet, just go to manychat.com and sign it with Facebook, because then it's going to make it super easy to connect Instagram. And this is the main dashboard of Manychat. And the first thing that I want you to do here is go to settings, then go to channels and connect your Instagram channel. If we sign up with Facebook, here we're going to have visible all the accounts that are connected to the Facebook page that we synced with Manychat. So in this case, I'm going to connect this one. And as you can see, it's super fast and now it's ready to go. And whenever we are in the main dashboard and we see already the templates and everything, it means that everything is correct. So now let's go to the settings tab again, and let's go to Instagram, and now let's go to conversation starters. And as you can see here, this is a preview of what our DMs actually look like whenever there is a person going into them for the first time. Basically here we have 4 different buttons. We have the Let's Work Together button, we have information about services, resources library, and other. And each one of those is going to put the potential customer into a different flow. In the previous video, we actually saw the resources library one, and now we're going to see the Let's Work Together. And obviously here we can edit absolutely everything, and we can change the name of the button, and we can link different flows, and we can do whatever we actually want here. So whenever we are ready, we just have to click on publish, and then if we want to go to the specific flow that we want to edit, then we just have to click here on the arrow and we will go to the template. Okay, so this is the flow that we're going to be using. Basically, first I'm going to show you a quick overview of what is this going to be about. I'm going to explain the questions, and then I'm going to explain you step by step how to create it. As you can see, the conversation starter is basically the Let's Work Together item starter, the button that we saw previously. And when a person clicks there, it means that we are going to go into this flow. So one of the first things that we do is to set the points to 0, and this is a custom field that I'm going to show you how to create it, and then basically check if there is a value for the first name or not. If there is a value for the first name, it means that we have already talked with that person and we don't need to ask the name again. If not, it means that we have to ask for the name. And then we're going to start with the questions of the quiz, the ones that are actually going to qualify the person or not. And now I'm going to explain them. Why are we using these questions, and what is the reason of assigning points? First of all, we're going to ask if we have a problem that we want to solve already. And if there is a problem that we want to solve already, it means that we already have a pain. So those persons that already have a pain are going to be more likely to actually hire our services, because it means that they are suffering from something. It can be whatever. So if they already have a pain, we're going to increase the points by 20. If they don't have a pain, we're going to increase the points by 10. And if they are just exploring, we are not going to increase any points. So we are going to dig a bit more into the problem, and we are going to ask them to explain. We're going to ask here, here, and here actually. And then in the next question, what we're going to do is basically ask them if they have taken action on that problem. And why are we asking this? Because if that person already has taken action to solve that problem, it means that it's a real problem. Because if you didn't try to solve a problem, it means that it is not really painful. But if on the other hand, you have tried many things, we're going to increase the points to 20, because it means that it's really painful, and consequently the person is willing to spend more money on that. Okay, so the same way, if the person has only thought about what to do, we're going to assign 10 points. And if the person hasn't taken action yet, we are not going to assign any point. So then the last 2 questions are basically questions asking about the economic situation and the economic capacity. So the first one is going to be about the size of the company, and with this one we basically want to know, okay, are you working for a small, big company? Because obviously if it is a big company, it's going to be easier that they have the budget, but probably the sales process is going to be slower if we are not talking with the decision maker. Straightforward, okay? Depending if it is just me, 1 to 5 employees, 5 to 20, or 20 employees, we're going to increase 5, 10, 15, or 20. And then in the last question, we're going to ask how much are they willing to spend in the project. And if they are willing to spend less than 1K, we're going to assign 5 points, because probably it's not going to be very worth it for us. And if they are willing to spend 1 to 3K, we're going to increase the points by 10. And if they are willing to spend 3 to 5K by 15, 5 to 10K by 20, and more than 10K by 30. And at the end, we are going to add a condition. So if the person actually is above those points, we are going to show that person the Calendly link. There is a Calendly where basically we're going to go through a discovery call. And if the person is not above those 35 points, but in this case we can actually change to 35, to 55, to 60, whatever we want, we are going to reject that person and we are going to say that may not be a good time to work together. So here we are again at the beginning of the conversation, and as you can see, this is the trigger, and this is the element that we mentioned previously. The conversation starts every time. In this case, the would and let's work together. But in case that we actually want to add new triggers, we can actually click on add new trigger and then basically select whatever we want from here. One that is very common and that actually we saw in a previous video was user sends a direct message with a keyword. And here we just need to type our keyword or whatever, and then it's basically it. So I'm going to add it and then I'm going to delete it just for you to see how easy it is. Okay, so I didn't save it. So it was as easy as that. Here, then we are going to add a message. And if you want to add a message, basically you have to click here and then add your message here. Okay, super easy as well. So I'm going to delete this one and I'm going to continue. Because here actually there is one of the most important parts of the whole flow. And here basically we set up a user field, a custom user field where we set the points to 0. Okay, points is a field and we set them to 0 because then depending on the answers that the potential customer actually give, we're going to assign 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 points. So here at the beginning of the flow, it needs to be set at 0. And I'm going to show you how to do it. So we can do this thing here and then we can select Instagram and then we can select user input. So here we're going to type something here. I mean, just selecting the box is enough. And then we're going to click on save response to custom field. We're going to create a user field and then we're going to change this to number. And then we're going to change or we're going to add the name to our custom field. In this case, points is already taken. So I'm going to do points testing and I'm going to save it. So now this block, I'm gonna delete it, and in case that I want to select the points testing here, I'm going to be able to change it. Okay, so here it should be points testing and it's a number field. So I'm gonna leave it as it is and then set to 0, and then I'm going to go into the next block. Here basically we set out a condition where basically we're asking for the first name. So if the person actually has given us already in any other flow the first name, then we go here without asking again for the name. And if not, we go here asking for the name. So if we need to ask for the name, what do we do? Okay, so it is very simple as well. Same as before, it is a text field, but with the difference that we are going to select a user input as before. So in this case, the field that we're going to select is a custom field that in this case is going to be first_name. And if you want to create one, you just have to click here, user field, and then select first_name. If you use the default one, first name, it is very likely that there is going to be confusions with the name of the user on Instagram and the real name of the person. For example, my username on Instagram is Borja Automations or Borja Business Automations, but my real name is Borja. So if I select this first name field here, it's very likely that then on the system I go as Borja Business Automations, and that's not very nice because it's a bit weird to call a person by the Instagram name instead of their real name. Okay, so that's a small tip. Just select this one, okay, and it's going to be more relevant for the person. So I'm going to delete this one because that's already done. And now let's continue. Okay, so basically here I set up a smart delay that is basically an amount of time that has to pass without reply, so we continue the flow in other way instead of the other. So for example, to set up a smart delay, we just have to click in smart delay, add here our time frame, our delay. So in this case, it's going to be 100 days, but it can be like 24 hours, or it can be 24 minutes, or it can be 60 seconds as well. And what is going to happen is that after those 100 days, without any other interaction from here, then we are going to go here, and then we are going to send a follow-up message. And in this case here, we would be asking for the name again. So I'm going to delete this one, and I'm going to leave this as it was. And then I'm going to go here, because basically here we start the quiz, but we don't start the quiz by qualifying the lead. We just want to know more about the industry. Here, same again, user input field, capturing the response to a custom field, that in this case industry, and then here the role in the company, capturing the response to a custom field, that in this case is role. So here another smart delay, just in case that there is no reply. And then here we actually started with the quiz. So just for you to see how it works, it's very simple. Here we're going to have one message, but actually we can do everything in once. And here we're going to have different buttons. Okay, we're going to have the yes, more or less, I'm just exploring. And as I explained before, we're going to assign points to yes, we're going to assign more points, then to more or less, we're going to assign less points, and to I'm just exploring, we're going to assign less points. So indeed, we just have to add here a quick reply example. And then from this button, we just have to create another block. So in this case, it could be a text block, but it can be like a text block with a user input step, or it can be whatever you actually want. So I'm going to delete this one because I don't need it anymore. But in case that the person goes to yes or goes to more or less, what we are going to do is to create an action. And how are we going to do this? So basically, we're going to do the same process again. We're going to click here, and then we're going to click in action. So we're going to click in set user field. And once we click in set user field, we're going to look for the field that in this case is points. And then here, we're going to actually create or select the operation. So in this case, it's going to be increase the number by, in my case, it's 20 if the person actually clicks yes. But you can do 100, 200, 5, 10, you can do whatever actually. So I'm going to delete this one again. And for this, you just need to repeat the process, and it's actually the same. So here, what I do is basically trying to dig a bit more into the problem that the person actually had. And if the person doesn't actually have any problem, then we don't ask for the problem, we just ask for the area. But here, actually, we create another user input field, and then we save the response to a custom field that in this case is problem, okay? Basically, now we go to the next step, and then we repeat the exact same process, like different buttons, and with the different buttons, we go to one action block, another action block, and we just simply assign different points depending on what we actually prefer. So here, again, we ask about what does the person has tried already, because obviously, like if the person has tried a lot of things, it's going to be a more likely to convert lead than if the person hasn't tried anything at all. So in this case, we capture again the response in a custom field that in this case is problem solutions. Same here. And here, again, just adding buttons and then adding the points for the different buttons that the person actually clicks. Here, more of the same. So as you can see, there is nothing really complex on this process apart from the actions, but just repeating it and making it logic and making sure that the qualifying system that we actually create makes sense with our requirements. So now here, last part or second last part of the flow, we're going to create a condition. And here we're going to find for this field, that in this case is points, okay? So we're going to type here points, and then here we're going to select greater than or equal than. And in this case it's 35, but you can actually select 50, 60, 70, 200, whatever. So once you select that, there is going to be two possibilities. One, the person actually matches with the condition, or two, the person actually doesn't match with the condition. So in case that the person doesn't match with the condition, we're going to send a message saying, I believe that at this time, maybe we are not the best fit to work together in a project. Borja. But anyway, let me know if I can help you somehow else. And then here we just wait for the person. If the person actually matches with the condition, I'm going to delete this one and I'm going to connect this one again. Then we're going to send this message. And how are we going to create this message? So it's very easy, actually. It's just a text field with button, okay? So in this case, we're going to write here the title of the button, and then we're just going to click in open website. And in this case, it's calendly.com/optimalpath/30min. That is our Calendly link, okay? So as you can see, this is very simple because once the person is here, and once obviously we have to write the text as well, but once the person is here, and once the person has passed through all the qualifying questions, the person is going to be able to book a meeting in Calendly. So I'm going to delete this one. But as you can see, this is a super simple workflow that actually can save us a lot of time, not only in qualifying leads, but also in unnecessary meetings. And also it's going to make that we are going to close more deals in the future because the leads are going to be more qualified and we are going to invest our time in the qualified leads. Anyway, I left a link with this exact template. So in case that you want to buy it and you don't want to build it yourselves, you can actually do it and then you can easily import it in your Manychat account. But yeah, guys, that's all. Please subscribe, stay tuned for next videos because we're going to continue with our series of the automated CRM. See you guys.